Yes, today we are here with Ayanna Smith, and she is a metaphysical curator and a tattoo artist. Hi, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Let's see. I have a couple things I want to ask you to get started. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and who you are as a person.
Well, I'm from Virginia. I was born in South Boston. I kind of grew up in the sticks. I traveled from like country to country until I made my way into the suburbs of Chesterfield. And I have two kids. I'm a mom, and I've always kind of been free spirited and like I've dabbled in different things. I've always had open mind to things. So um, I'm a big Weeb anime fan. So Sailor Moon is the reason why I decided to start drawing. And also, my mother was an artist. And as a preteen, I started to get into the more like occult region of spirituality and explored witchcraft. And here I am today, making metaphysical items and doing tattoos.
Nice, nice. And how long have you been doing each?
I have been tattooing inconsistently for about 10 years now. I started around like 2012, and I've been practicing witchcraft inconsistently also um, since 2006. I want to say 2006, 7, 8. I was in middle school. So, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I messed with a little bit of green witchcraft back in the day, but it was one of those things that never stuck for me personally. And I mean, it's not for everybody, but it was a very interesting experience, and it was a very enlightening experience.
It,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it, it kind of it helps for you to kind of like understand just like the world around you because it's not so about focusing a religion on a person or idealism. It's focusing more so on the earth and like the world we live in. We all have that in common.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I noticed like a lot of witchcraft comes down to just I would call it manifesting what you want.
Yeah,
B-
yeah.
because I've noticed it's not just one path to what you want. It's more about what you believe that'll work for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like it's really focusing on like having a positive mantra, or I mean like I can't say a positive because some people aren't always positive. That's to each their own. No shade on how everyone wants to live the life,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
but it's definitely focusing on how you want to, like I said, live your life, the things that you want to manifest for yourself, the things that you want to create. So if you want to have abundance and you want to make a lot of money, you're going to kind of focus on that in your practice. And you're also going to keep that in mind when you're going about your day-to-day life, like the different little things that you do every day. It kind of keeps that in your head for you to be in the path that you want to be.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And while we're on the topic, um, I wanted to get you to explain. I have a small grasp on it, but for me in the audience, describe what metaphysical means and like kind of how you learned about it.
So for me, I ended up learning about it by accident. It's actually a childhood friend of mine. She started dabbling first in middle school, and we started talking about it, whatever. And then one night, I had a sleepover at my house, and another best friend of ours was there also, and they kind of started like meditating with each other, and they kind of started to try and tap into what I call like the ether or whatever, trying to get some messages from out there. And I actually got mad at them because I was like, I was staying at my house having a sleepover. And I'm not over here holding hands with y'all. Like, what are y'all doing? And she was like, Ayanna, I don't know how you're going to take this, but like, we're trying to like astral project. And I was just like, I don't know what you dumb bitches are doing, but like, you're not going to do it without me because I'm just going to tell you that you're dumb because I want to experience it. I'm the type of person that like, I'm going to experience everything and then I'm going to say that was great or I'm going to call you dumb afterwards. So basically, I end up doing that with them and we were able to astral project. Now, that is like a whole completely different side story, what have you. But like that was my first experience in my practice. It was way more far advanced and way more out there than most people do when they have like their first experience. But that's what happened with me. And so yeah, it just I've always been open minded, but like it really set me off to understanding that there's a lot more out in the world than what we just look and view and see in our day-to-day lives. There's a lot more to experience. There's a lot more to understand.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like when people disregard other people's beliefs, now you don't have to believe it to not disregard it, but when people disregard others' beliefs, they're really just closing themselves off to an experience that could change their life.
Right, correct. Like you should not ever say no to anything. I mean, like if it's something harmless, there's no reason for you to say, no to having an experience with a person because you can understand, even if it does nothing for you, you can always understand that person better or understand their culture or their background or whatever. It's just having like plain blatant humanity, like that's all it is to it. Just having a straight up human connection. It's great.
Yeah, for sure. And people underestimate how much people need people.
Right.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about was this picture I found, and I pulled a lot of stuff from your Instagram. I did a little bit of digging. Um, so I saw this spray, and it looks like it has maybe some leaves in it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
tell me a little bit about the spray and the crystals it sits in, and if they have any significance to it.
So what you were looking at was also like it was also one of my first products that I made, and I kind of made it so more for myself. Um, but I called it the Love Thyself Body Oil, and it has, I believe, I put like rosemary, rose quartz, chamomile, and a bunch of different essential oils in it, along with other herbs. And basically, it was just to manifest love for yourself. And because you always see stuff on the market for like, like romantic type of love or love with another being, whatever, but it's like not really much that's marketed or geared towards self love. And I just feel like in order for you to like really find the love that you want, instead of trying to create a love spell or entice someone else into you, maybe you should figure out how much you need to love yourself to figure out if that person is actually what you really want. Because I've been there that on both ends. I've definitely tried to love people that were not right for me and tried to force it, and they've tried to force their love of me when I wasn't right for them. So I just made the decision, going through all that stuff in my own personal life and just me trying to do general marketing for my products. I realized, like there's not really much out there for self love, which is really important. That is the first step to any type of real love in your life.
Yeah, and self care is super important. And I mean
So,
that kind of like back piggybacks off of what you were saying, because yeah, if you can't take care of yourself, how do you expect to take care of somebody else? If you can't love yourself, how do you expect to love anyone else? Like there's a certain connection you have to have with, yeah, with who you actually are and not the face you put on for people before
right,
you
exactly.
yeah, before you can allow a connection to happen.
Right. And that's what I wanted, because I have in my practices, I've tried, like love spell and what have you. And obviously it didn't work out. Honestly, all I did was have something that should have been broken linger on longer than it was supposed to. And, you know, moving forward with all the problems that I've gone through in my past with relationships and what have you, I've learned to focus on loving myself. And within loving myself, I have had the right type of friends and environments and experiences happen that are actually geared towards my inner love for myself and my inner being. And it's great. Like, I highly recommend everybody focus on self-care and self-love before they try to focus on any other type of love. Unless it's your kid, don't worry about anyone else's love. Worry about yourself.
All right. That was actually interesting. I like that. So the next thing is I saw this red candle with like a moon kind of etched into it, and I don't know exactly what you would call it. I say like a garnish on top.
Mm-hmm.
Um, First, okay, before we get deep into what the candle is, when you burn it, how does that stuff stay up there, or does it not?
So the way that I try to garnish my candles, I try to have it so that it will burn evenly. Also, I'm very kind of like OCD about like the crafts that I make. I try to make them be very presentable and symmetrical and just like make sense in a way. Like, I try not to have things be too chaotic. Try to have them like be even killed. So usually when I'm dressing my candles, I try to place the herbs or crystals or whatever in a symmetrical form so they can kind of all burn at the same time and kind of move at the same motion so the candle will not melt in an awkward way also.
Okay.
So that's usually what happens. It just pretty much burns all straight out.
Okay. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Next, now to the little deeper side of this candle. What does the garnish add to the candle that you wouldn't get from a normal burning of this candle?
So that particular candle is actually one of my altar candles, and my altar candles are specifically made for different gods, goddesses, or like specific type of practices. So that one is for a dark goddess called Hecate, and she's one of my patron goddesses. I love her so much. She's great, very powerful woman. She is um, basically takes you on the right path. And if you don't go on the right path, she's going to tell you, well, I told you so. Maybe you should listen next time. So, um,
Like
but
a strict mother.
yeah, like I have an altar for her, and like when I'm like really down and out, like, Mom, I'm so sorry. Like, my altar's informal because they know I am, and so I'll talk to them informal all the time. It's funny, but yeah. So she's like a strict mother, and what I do with my altar candles is I research, heavily research, literally for hours, um, different types of herbs, oils, crystals, colors, just any and everything, sigils, symbolisms, whatever I can, basically cramming the knowledge that I can about that specific deity or that specific like practice you're trying to do. And I use those items. I go into my apothecary and I collect the items that I feel are right for that specific candle, that specific altar candle. So it's all just oils, herbs, crystals, and designs that I've created my own self, and that I found that felt at the moment upon meditation that were right to create that candle.
Yeah, and for sure, I mean that definitely shows passion for your work if you're willing to do the digging. And a lot of people underestimate like you can do something for as long as you want to do it, and if you don't have the passion to get out and do the work, you like I've seen artists, they're like, "Oh, I want to draw," and then they do a couple sketches, but they don't want to spend 15 hours learning how to draw a perfect circle.
Right.
So those small things are the difference between your success and your failure.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. Like people just look at it and like, oh, it's just a candle, and I'm just like, no, I literally take hours to make sure that I'm doing something for another person correctly. Because what I call it my slang for my altar candles, I call them a birthday cake, because I imagine myself, someone calling me and saying, hey, this is my best friend, my dad, my sister, whatever. This is their birthday. This is the things that they like. And I want you to make a birthday cake for them. So that's what I imagine. If this person, deity, whatever, is actually in front of my face physically, if I would present this candle to them, their birthday cake, would they be happy with it? So
Yeah.
that's what I try to.
And a lot of people want a lot of people say don't mix business and personal, but when you really care about what you do, your business is personal.
Yes, exactly. I take it so personal, so personal.
um so I was scrolling through your Instagram like I have
Mm-hmm.
for most of these, and I saw this little skull wreath. Did you make this, and what can you tell me about it?
Okay, so this is another little thing that I like to do because I do too much. I do way too much, but I have so many interests. So along with my shop, I also have alternative decor because I am an alternative person, and like everything in my house is like either thrifted or bought during Halloween or I've made. And I know a lot of other people who are like that, and it's kind of hard to come by certain type of alternative decor without it being like too Halloweeny or like way too expensive. So if I'm not making metaphysical products, I will make alternative decor. And I wanted to make some cool wreaths. So I hand painted the skulls. I picked out the flowers. I painted the wreath and everything, and I learned how to make wreaths also. So there are alternative wreaths out there for spooky people like me who have a house. It could look nice outside too.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like it. It's a very interesting piece. I didn't want to touch on it for too long, but it definitely caught my eye when I was looking through.
Thank you.
Another thing that, well, the description caught my eye on this one more than the product itself. Now, for those viewers, because I know some of you are gonna be like, "Oh, why is he hating on her box?" I'm not hating on the box. Okay, the box is great. It's just the description caught me. so this is a life box. Tell me what this is used for. I mean, it's decorative. Oh, and I have something to show you that you'll probably like too, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. So the life box, that the design on it is actual sacred geometry, and I believe they call it that actual geometric design. I think it's called like the flower of life. I have not dug too much into sacred geometry because like astrology and sacred geometry, that's like a whole lot more to learn, and I'm just like try to kind of stay focused on like spell work and like deities before like
Well,
crystals.
baby
Yeah,
steps.
yeah, baby steps. I'm trying to master one before I master the other, because crystals, sacred geometry, and astrology is like it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot. So but that particular design, I believe is called the flower of life. So that's why I called it the life box. And it's empty. It is velvet lined. You could put your tarot cards in, you could put your crystals in, you could put your jewelry in it, or you could actually make it into a spell box, and you can make it a life box if you want to. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, that's excellent. I was just, yeah, I didn't know if the name in it did something that, you know.
Yeah.
um, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but how does this compare to the boxes they use and call like the divot boxes?
So I knew that's what you were gonna go to. That's so funny. So, debit boxes are basically used to kind of capture like feral spirits or energy. Um, and you're not supposed to open them. You have them sealed because then essentially that spirit is going to come back out and wreak complete terror on you. So it's kind of like when they enclose spirits and like dolls and like objects and whatever. The debit box is more, in my opinion, more safe because it's a freaking box, and it's also, um, if I'm not mistaken, geared toward a specific culture. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I did a little research about them a few years ago because I thought it was so cool. But I think it's a specific culture that uses debit boxes, and that's where they came from.
Okay, okay. Somebody told me it was voodoo, maybe, but I don't know. Don't take my word on that. Okay, don't fucking stick my dog. God damn it. Okay, so here's what I thought you might find interesting. So I found this book, and I don't know a lot about it.
Okay. That's so cool. Okay, I have one of those, but mine is black. It's all black.
And the inside, take these straps off, is all blank parchment.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
So
it's it's so great. When I found it, I had to take it.
right. I have one of those too. I got the black one. It doesn't have crystals on it. It's just all black, but it's still leather bound and it's just like that. I got mine to um basically use as my family grimoire. I tell my kids about my practice on a kid safe level. Basically, they just kind of help me with like cleansing the house and meditating because that's literally all I encourage them to be involved in because they are children. Um, so what I plan on doing with that book is writing like all my spell work and potions and recipes and everything in it for them to pass down for the rest of my family.
Yeah, and it's definitely good to have something that's a generational. I am just so you guys know, I'm gonna do a little pluggy plug here. Um, I am starting a business. Well, I should say it. Okay, for legal purposes, I have to say it's a business, but really, it's a guild. And what I do is people come to my website, and I'm not gonna put it all up here or go too in depth, but people come to my website, post jobs, not just normal jobs, whatever they feel they need, and whoever I have, whether it's a glass blower that I know, or somebody who does do physical labor, or even people who do cleansings and stuff, they all come and join the guild, and then I delegate the work based on their professions. So
Awesome.
so I was gonna use mine for a rule book.
Hmm.
Like, these are the bylaws of what is legally a company, but is actually me and some people that I really trust getting things done for people at a reasonable price.
I like that.
But yeah, I figured you'd probably like that book, and it's cool that you have one too. That's awesome. It was hard to find that motherfucker.
When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I don't care how much it is, I'm gonna get it.
It cost me over $100. It's crazy.
Yep.
Um. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you were sick earlier this week. I'm finishing up a cold as we go.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, as long as you sound good, then we're good. People aren't here for me; they're here for y'all. But okay. So the next picture that we're gonna talk about are these two jars with powders. And I read the description, but I want you to kind of tell us what it is.
Okay. So in that particular picture, you're also looking at two of my first like powder mixes that I made myself. There is the black salt, which is handmade. Black salt is used for protection. It can also be used for bane magic. It can be used for banishing. Bane magic and banishing are two different things. And what I like to do with my black salt, I like to put it in my window seals. I like to put it above my window seals, and basically it'll kind of create like a border of protection from your windows. And I also do that in my doorways. You can also use black salt and sprinkle it on your floor when you sweep. That is more of a, I believe, hoodoo and voodoo practice. They use salt and they put it in the floor, and they sweep it out the door. So they sweeping out the negativity out the door. And then the other one, let me pull up what the other powder was. That one is my positive powerhouse. I love that one. I've had so many good compliments on that one. So basically that one, I just wanted to be used for if you needed an extra boost of positivity, like vitamin C. Like you need goodness, positivity, energy, just like a straight up boost and jolt of all things good. That's what the positive powerhouse does for you. I sold out of all those candles and that powder very, very fast and had nothing but good reviews about it. I need to make some more of it, but that's one of my favorites that I've done. It makes you feel so good, and it makes your house feel so good, and you feel uplifted.
Okay, and just for plug's sake, where can someone buy them if they're interested?
So you can order from me offline. I have a Facebook and Instagram page, called Divine and Dead. And then
I'll link them in
so
the description of the YouTube video when it comes out.
also, I have it locally in Old Town Petersburg, a shop called Twin Bull Treasures. I have a vendor spot there. That's where all my products are. I go pull from the shelf if anyone orders anything offline, but you can go there at your own leisure in your own time and buy from the store.
Nice, nice, and that's local goods, guys. Stop buying these corporate goods, man. You're fucking
Yeah,
everybody.
correct.
And that's one thing that we make sure that we let people know. Like, we support the local community. We don't charge for interviews. We don't charge. Now we do charge for plugs on other people's videos. So if you want me to plug you on somebody else's video, you know it costs. But as far
Yeah.
as as far as your own video, you can plug anything you want to. So we're really here for it, and everybody that I bring onto the show is here for it too. So really go support these people. They work hard.
Yeah, and that shop is amazing. It has so much other stuff too. So like really, like you said, everyone should support local and shop local. There's so many gyms. I mean, just me walking around my own town, because I live in Petersburg also. Just walking around, I found so many cool stores there. Like everyone should just go out and explore their own town. It's great.
Yeah, and I mean, even in towns that seem like there's nothing, if you give it that little extra attention, there might even be a thrift shop that you walk in and find something that you never thought you'd see. Like me, I found this ivory, like real ivory chess pieces that were different animals. They were like hippos and rhinoceros and stuff like that. I was and they were like $2.50 for the whole set.
Yeah.
Like real
Um,
ivory. I could have paid hundreds of dollars for that.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's you get cool stuff like that. Like, and then like it's fine because it's secondhand. Like you can have animal stuff. It's just thrifted because
Yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Let me put a disclaimer. We do not support animal products. No fur, like no real fur. You can wear faux fur, but don't not that real shit, man. Too much shit's going extinct nowadays.
correct.
And once the animals go, we're not far behind. I mean, we're animals too. So if it's killing them, imagine what it's doing to us.
Right.
Like I've seen a dog eat like almost an entire bike and survive. So if we're murking animals like that, it's a problem.
Whew. Yeah. Yeah. Don't give me
Yeah,
that.
same. I end up fucking ranting. So let's let's
Yeah.
move on. The next thing that I wanted to talk to you about, now that we have a little bit of information on the metaphysical, let's move
Mhm.
into your work as a tattoo artist. What can you tell me about your come up in that, and is it something that you do as a profession, or is it more of something that you just enjoy?
It is something that I do that I enjoy, but I handle it as a profession, and I'm going to move into it as my profession. I've had so much training in my tattooing. It's kind of ridiculous, and I've been to school for it twice, and I've had 2 apprenticeships. Um, and then to piggyback off the fact that I do surgery for a living, I have all the knowledge of bloodborne pathogens and higher practice in aseptic techniques than regular tattoo artists are because I do surgery.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think if I can cut you open and sew you back together, I can do a tattoo on you.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I
But
mean, you gotta kind of treat your tools the same way.
yes, yes, 100%. I completely treat them the same way. I've actually had people come to me and say, that I've handled things way more sterile and cleaner, just even like in my own household than they have in tattoo shops, which I take pride in that because I do treat it as the same way. I do the same type of setup and procedures as I do with surgery. So, but yeah, that's my main goal as far as trying to set out my career path. I really would like to I made it moment would be me having a metaphysical shop that has a tattoo studio in it.
Awesome, hell yeah, and I think that's a good idea because a lot of people who are into metaphysical and witchcraft also like to get things tattooed on them, and a lot of times it's for the purpose of supporting their craft.
Correct. And that's one of the things that I want to really get into with the merge of those 2 passions of mine is I want to be able to hold like spiritual tattoo ceremonies where we can meditate, they can get readings, we can create a sigil together or what have you to actually give them a tattoo that is based off of their faith, their beliefs, their spirituality, and something that is that can be used in their practice, essentially.
Okay, hell yeah. And how did you come into that? Like, did you just wake up one day and you were like, I'm gonna go tattoo somebody, like, or was it like someone introduced you to it?
Yeah. So, like I said, I've been drawing ever since I came out of my mom's womb. I've always been drawing, and so like whenever I come across a art medium, I always try it out. And I essentially met someone that was tattooing, and they gave me my first tattoo, and I was like, "Hey, that sounds crazy, but like I want to try this." And they're like, "I was like, I can draw, just let me try." They're like, "Okay." And I tried, and they're like, "Holy shit, you're really good for never picking this up." And I was like, "I art. I don't know what to tell you."
Yeah. um, were you nervous when you tattooed your first person?
um, yes and no. Um, I had a lot of friends that appreciated how good of an artist I was and appreciated the fact that I was trying to go off of this endeavor. So I had so many guinea pigs when I should not have had guinea pigs. But they offered it, and yeah, even to this day, like they're like, if you still ever want to tattoo me, I'm like, look now, I'm not in the same space I was before. Can't just give up free tattoos anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's always gonna be a business. As long as people got skin, you're good.
Yeah, for sure.
um, All right, we're getting toward our time here, which is great because we had a great interview. I didn't even notice that it had almost been 35 minutes.
Oh
Um,
man, I didn't.
but so the last one is this one here. It's actually a collective of drawings. Were these just sketches that you came up with, or were they orders for customers?
So I decided last year that I wanted to try the Inktober challenge, and I'm too sporadic and ADD to keep up with doing a challenge for 30 days. So I only did it for a couple of days, and but that was um, one of the like prompts that they had. I think the prompt was for chains. I believe that's what the prompt was. So I decided to draw some flash work for the theme being chains. And that's what I came up with off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think my favorite one's the candle, the person melting with the wick coming out.
Yeah, like I really loved that concept that I came up with. I sometimes I amaze my own self when like I this is not the first time I've had like an art challenge where I've been a prompt to draw something. I did before when I had one of my apprenticeships and I was told to like draw like killer bees or something like that. And when I showed the artist the design I had, because I drew a skull with daisies in his eyes and honey melting and honeycombs in its mouth and everything, like he was like, holy crap. Like he wasn't expecting. So like I love getting just kind of thrown like one word, one sentence type of themes because I surprise my own self what I am able to come up with on the spot. Like it's pretty cool. But that's one of my favorite designs that I drew in that flash set also.
Okay. So the way we end is I usually ask a series of three questions, but we've already answered a couple of them through here. Um, what advice would you give to someone who is interested in pursuing the I don't want to call them hobbies because they might be hobbies for somebody else, and that's why I thought of the word. But the uh, the endeavors. There you go, big word. Uh, to someone pursuing the same endeavors as you, um, especially when it comes to young people and experiencing witchcraft for the first time.
Um, Basically, my advice with it is follow your gut, follow your intuition, follow that feeling that you get in the back of your neck, on the back of your arms, that tingle in your spine. Listen to it because that is really the heart and soul of witchcraft itself is just being in tune to yourself and everything around you. So you will figure out your path if you listen to the energies that are within you and around you. You can't just kind of create your own path until you're already on the path that the universe wants you to be in. So, really, it's a lot about being in tune with yourself, figuring out yourself, doing a lot of research, definitely being respectful of cultures, just boundaries in general when it comes to if you want to work with deities or spirits or whatever. It's a lot of boundaries that you have to learn and a lot of leveling up. You can't just jump into the deep end. It just some people like me, it worked out for me. Not really. That's a different story. Like I said, there was a lot of sketchy times I had there, but you just tread lightly and you just have to be very self-aware. But I encourage anyone and everyone, if they have something they're interested into, and it might be out of the ordinary, it's an oddball type of thing. If it's something that you have an interest in, you feel it in your soul that something you might love or might be good for you, go ahead and seek it out. Figure that out. We have one life to live. Like, figure it out.
Yeah, and one thing I like to tell people is don't pander to what everyone likes,
Yeah.
because people will lead you astray. Even if they do like your stuff, a lot of people are haters, and they'll purposely give you bad advice to sabotage you because they're not in your position.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's always good. It's always better to focus on, like you said, how you feel, that intuition, that spine tingle that tells
Mhm.
you either I'm on the right direction or I'm fucking up
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
um all right. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a great interview. You guys go check out, well, actually, go ahead and plug yourself.
All right, guys. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook for Divine and Dead for my metaphysical stuff. And if you want to check out my tattoos, I also have Instagram and Facebook. It is called Sweetly Sin Inks.
All right, guys. This video will be up not this coming Monday, but the following Monday, and in the description will be a link to all these things. So if you can't find her before the video goes up, you don't have no excuses when it does come up. So get out there, support, buy local, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.